Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Fantastic Four issue 33. And this was a pretty good issue because we start kicking off the whole thing of Victor Von Doom getting married to Victorious, and it very much delivers on that premise. Now, granted, that story is still going on because of the revelations that come at the end and how Doom handles those revelations, but they set up such a very interesting scenario of what goes on with this Latvian wedding and why these people come here that it's like, okay, this is pretty interesting. Let's see how this kind of works. So we actually start off the issue and we see that Doom and Victorious are having dinner, and he's asking why she's being so quiet and everything, and she doesn't tell anything right off the bat, and Doom just assumes it's because she's not Latvian, and that the way he got around that was to pretty much annex the country that she was from and bring it into Latvian control. And it's like, okay, that's definitely one way to do that. Yep. Now, granted, the thing is that helps to a certain degree to help legitimize her as the queen of the country, but you have to be really kind of steadfast in being a kind of cultural kind of change agent to get the rest of that society to kind of get behind that. Though granted, Doom usually rules with an iron fist and be like, if you don't like my shit, I'm gonna kick your ass first and potentially kill you if I feel like it. So Victorious still hasn't told Doom about what is going on. So we shift over and we see them kind of, the Fantastic Four hashing out what's going on. Ben is like, this is crazy. And then Reed's like, well, here's the reason we're doing this, because it's a Latvian tradition to forgive all kind of shit that has gone on at this kind of wedding. So we pretty much get a clean slate and kind of bury the hatchet with Doom. Which, fuck yeah, that would be a really important thing to kind of do. Even though Doom is a giant dick most of the time and he gets in his own way with certain things, he will honor certain things if it works out to his advantage. It's like, okay, cool. And they're pretty much talking about how, yeah, Sue pretty much saw a death thing where Doom held a grudge for everything that happened for 62 years. Yeah, she's got to do it. Reed for all of his stuff. Ben for his stuff. And they're like, hey, Johnny's the only one that really wouldn't have one. And John's like, crap. So they kind of hash it out with everything that's going on with the kids, them staying back, Alicia staying back as well. Valerie being, Valeria being like, hey, I want to go to Uncle Doom's. It's like, well, you and I can make shit when we get back, Reed. And she's like, but he's got death rays and doomsday weapons. And I'm like, you watch an eye on that chick. She's smart as hell and can deliver on that shit. Be careful with that. Granted, if you're fucking around to see what it can be done and to try and get a countermeasure, maybe. But with her whole beef with the prince, be careful with her with those kind of stuff. But Johnny also tries to get in contact with Skye, but she's like, yeah, I'm pretty much going to be going home. So we'll have to see if they kind of do any more with that, or if Skye kind of pops in at some point for what's happening, because they're going to need some backup. So they pretty much fly to Latveria. They get in with their usual Doom welcome of the Doom bots. He's sitting there with two fucking tigers and everything. They kind of hash out what's going on. Susan's kind of pissed off because Doom pretty much picked Reed and Sue's anniversary. He's like, alright, cool. I'm sorry. Ben's like, hey, you ruined my wedding too. He's like, alright, fine. How'd I do that? You big Doom head and shit. It's like, alright, cool. I'm sorry. Where's Alicia? She decides to stay back. Oh, good. What? Alright. And so they go off to kind of do their own kind of stuff. So we see then that Johnny tries to get in contact with Victorious. He tries to fly, sneaking on fire, but then a servo bot comes and racks his ass down into the ground, be like, hey, what? But we find out that Victorious is controlling it. He wants to see what she wants, and she wants what she believes is best for Latveria, and that is to be the queen, depending upon even if she wants to be with Doom or not. And tells him to go back to his room. We switch over, we see Reed and Sue kind of figure out what's going on, and someone brings in the rings because Reed's the best man. Sue floats up the idea of putting a bug into the ring, and Reed's like, listen, we gotta if we're gonna do a building of new trust with Doom, we gotta do this right. She's like, you know what, you're right. Even though Doom has put a surveillance device thing in the ring already, so he's like, oh, okay, they're adhering to this, and then he starts dismantling his weapons that are usually used to take on the Fantastic Four, and also telling them to take down this Armageddon thing, but it would take them a lot longer. She's like, we'll take care of that later, but since this kind of racks out the way it usually kind of does, I'm kind of waiting for that kind of thing to pop up for shits and giggles and mayhem and to ensue. We get to the day of the wedding, we see them kind of doing their kind of betrothed procession. We see the Latvian takes on everything, and we find out that T'Challa and Namor have also decided to come for the non-aggression pact kind of shit as well with Latveria, because that would be advantageous for both countries. And seeing them both kind of like, well, T'Challa isn't really being a dick and like fucking around with shit. He's like, all right, cool, I need to be here because I'm the king of Wakanda. This works with me. Namor's the one kind of being like, hey, yeah, we got beef, bitch. He's like, And it's just, he's got that fucking annoying ass swagger that you're like, Namor, fuck off. Ben, of course, tries to come and dispute this. She's like, hey, if we work this out, we're good. So we get to the ceremony, and what's an interesting fact is that Victorious asks for Ben to present her to Doom as like the father figure. It's like, oh, okay, this works out. Thanks for asking for this. And we see that like there's little girls and everybody who are very enamored with Victorious, dressed up like her, and be like really happy for the wedding and all that. They're kind of going through all this stuff, but Victorious can't keep it in any longer and says to Doom that she was intimate with Johnny Storm. And we see everybody like, the fuck? T'Challa's like, what? And Namor is laughing like the fucking manic asshole that he is. Now, granted, for it to fall out that way, Namor is laughing because it's not like him, and it's just like a funny kind of thing going on. I'd just be like, oh shit. I could understand a certain kind of humor looking at it. Reed fucking smacks Johnny with his long arm, and Sue and Ben are just like, God damn it. And then Dude's like, this is unacceptable. Fucking energy blast, a lot of stuff going on. And then we find out that they can't raise arms against anyone in Latveria. And he's like, hey, if you'd stuck to your shit, we would have been cool. And it's like, you didn't specify when the grievances or whatnot had to be kind of like talked about. So going shit canny hoota at the wedding altars, all on you, bro. Alright? I'm like, here's the thing. I can kind of understand being like, oh, it's like, okay, she was intimate with Johnny Storm. Like, I would almost be like, who has Johnny Storm not been intimate with? Like, where's this list? And especially if Doom is just using it as a ruler, I would almost take this as her Victorious saying this and be like, alright, that's very cool. And the thing is, I would kind of understand Johnny not really getting that in depth and being like, should I tell it to this dude when he's got his tires and shit? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, there's no perfect time to be like, yo, man, happy wedding. Oh, by the way, I had intimate relations with your bride-to-be. Now, granted, you really should tell somebody about this, but there's never... It's very hard to find a good time for that. So it's like, yeah. And you would think that Doom would just be like... more kind of logical about it, because he's trying to present as logical. But the thing is, it's to his pride and to Latveria and all that, and he ain't fucking having this. He's like, I'm gonna still do my way out of this motherfucker. And we see that they are like stopped from pretty much fighting, but then he's like pretty much trying to set the servo bots and everything else against them. And then Ben's like, you know what, Reed, I gotta tell you, I told you so. And so then T'Challa, Namor, the Dora Milaje, and the rest of the cadre that are there have to deal with this whole shit. So it's going to be definitely interesting to see how they get out of this. I was like, really? I like the premise to begin with anyway of like Doom's wedding. Alright? That's got a lot of shit you can do. And I'm not disappointed with this. I really want to see how the Fantastic Four and their allies get out of this and how it kind of gets wrapped up. Now, Skye could potentially pop out to kind of like help save the day. Her, Franklin, Valeria, potentially pop up to help or whatnot, and gather some other allies. Ooh, they could actually get up kind of like the other Fantastic Four to help out if they need to, or gather the Avengers and do everything, because I could also... Yeah, you got the Fantastic Four, and then you got the chairman of the Avengers as T'Challa being threatened. You could do a lot of stuff, so it's definitely going to be interesting, and I'm really excited to see where this is going. I've been really happy with what's been going on with the Fantastic Four, and can't wait to see where it goes next. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.